couldn't do it. I did work for 6 months.
Ooh, what was your job?
I was working at a director's office, and their office was in their home, and so they really had to carefully vet who worked there. So I was like an assistant.
And was that like your first job near the industry?
School, yeah.
And it was working with a director?
Yeah, he was a commercial director. He did TV commercials. And one day I fell asleep with my elbow on a button on the computer. And it was blinking. It was just like all X's. Whatever was at the end, and the screen was blinking. And I woke up because I had been out too late. And I was like, and then my roommate and I were like, we are going to raise money, and I don't know. And I was like, we have to quit our jobs. Our jobs are holding us back.
Yeah.
And then... And then I had to borrow money, and my parents were like, what are you going to do? So I was like, I'll go back to school.
Okay, so you went back to study journalism then? And
I went back to study journalism, and my dad had a stroke and passed away very suddenly my first few months of school.
First few months. And so you stopped going to school after that?
No. I finished because I knew he'd want me to, but I had a friend who said, do you want to make extra money doing commercials? And she was like, I'll introduce you to my manager. I met her manager. That manager, I couldn't show up for auditions because I was like, I'm doing my thesis. I can't show up to an audition. But I did, and then I took a class in acting, and I think it was very healing for me after my dad to be out of my head a little bit. And that's how, and then I was like, oh, I love this. So then I finished NYU and then decided to go to Columbia's bartending school.
Whoa.
Because I was going to need to pay for acting school.
Yeah.
And I went to acting school. I remember my mom
Where'd you go to acting
so
school?
you just don't want a job, huh, baby? And I could have been a professional student. I did love school. I studied at Bill Esper.
I could see you also being a great bartender.
Oh my gosh.
I can see
would
you.
have been, but I don't know how to make any drinks because you were supposed to spit those drinks out in class. I was really tipsy after every class.
Yeah. But
liked
so
it.
much of bartending is faking, like faking, like you're just making the drink.
Yes.
But it's about the chit chat.
Yeah, and I do like people.
Yeah.
So I love to converse and meet. I find people to be fascinating.
Okay, so back to commercials. You're auditioning for commercials. Did you get any commercials during that time?
I did.
What did you
I
get?
got.
That was a big deal to get a commercial in the 90s.
It was national.
Shit.
McDonald's.
What? You got a national McDonald's commercial?
I did.
How much money did you make from that? Because that could change your life. A national commercial.
Yeah. It was, my line, I had to say, and some McDonald's fries.
You were ordering them, or?
I was at a movie theater we were watching a movie about McDonald's, and then
You were watching a McDonald's movie?
No, we were watching a movie about something, and they were running. Maybe I don't even remember, but he says, I could go for a Big Mac. Yeah, I think the movie that we were watching, and then I said in some McDonald's fries.
And what do you remember about being on the set of? You know how sometimes you can remember the feeling when you're shooting something? What was it? Were you nervous?
I was nervous. Yes, I was nervous. I remember I was like, I don't know if I like my hair because they did these rods. But then I look back and I'm like, that hair was just fine.
Yeah.
I thought everyone was going to recognize me. I thought that commercial was going to air. I was outside like this.
You were like
waiting
for people to be like, the fries girl, there she is.
Did you just do a McDonald's commercial? Not one. Nobody.
But that's a big get.
It was a big get.
That is a big get. And it ran for a while?
It did. It ran for you remember how they had to pay for your cycles? I think I made over a period, like 30, 40,000, 30,000.
Yes, back then you could make, you could
and
live.
there were some people who made but I made I think I made 30.
Yeah. And if you could get a commercial and it could run and
your residuals were nice.
Yes. It's been really interesting to look at your range, like we talked about. I mean, you have done all different kinds of work. You've been in big, huge franchises.
Can I interrupt?
Yes.
I love this woman. No, I want to say that. You know what? No. I have to say it because I have to say how profoundly inspiring you are, right? That's across all cultures, races, and genres. You know that too.
Thank you for saying
In terms
that.
of comedy, yeah, because it's like, whenever you say Amy Poehler, it doesn't matter, right? We all know who it is. Um, and so when I would watch you and Tina, I'd be like, they're beautiful, they're funny, and so you're always looking at people who you admire, and I think also how much fun they're having, right? And so, whether it's conscious or subconscious, like, and Maya Rudolph, who's also hilarious, but to see women be so funny and so like beautiful and yet not vain. Because you can't really have that right when you're doing comedy. You
That's
gotta be
right.
like, you can't be like, I don't know, but that was profoundly like impactful and inspirational. I don't even think without me knowing it at first, and then it became like, oh my goodness, I love them.
Well, thank you for saying that. It does mean a lot because I have followed your career and been so impressed by how genuinely and deeply funny you are. You are really funny. And also, you have played incredibly subtle, grounded, interesting characters, including the film that you're in, the new Paul Thomas Anderson film that you're in that we'll talk about. Like, you are playing deep, complex characters and also getting to swing the other way. That's very inspiring because it's very hard to not be just limited or like, to come in through the comedy door and never leave that way. Have you found that to be like, did that happen in the beginning? Like when you were doing more comedic stuff, did you feel?
I think after Scary Movie. I think after, and the interesting thing with Scary Movie is after Scary Movie, then it was like, oh, she only does broad comedy. So then you have to say, well, can you get a grounded, and a lot of them I just, a lot of stuff you don't get, right? Isn't there like tons?
Well, I'd be curious because I was thinking, like, what is Regina when you were, we all have this thing where we get scripts sent to us or parts sent to us and we scroll down to see what people are thinking about us.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like, okay.
I got my first job I got was a stripper, and I just was like, I'm gonna get inundated. I haven't been asked again, and I'm offended. I'm serious. I literally was
You're
like,
like,
watch,
here they come.
I do remember I had an agent, I love her so much, her name is Jamie, and she said, we've gotten a foreign film for you. I haven't read it yet, but we just got the offer. This was after Scary Movie, and I was like, oh, gosh, I'm international. And this is before emails. And remember when you had to pick your scripts up?
Oh, yeah. Physically go to someone's house.
Yeah. So I physically went to the agency, and it was in the bin because I wasn't at the point where they were messengering them to me. So I got the script, and I remember it was Playa Haters, which she was reading as Playa, the beach.
No.
Yes, Playa Haters. Playa Haters. That's what she said to me on the phone. And I said, it's Playa Haters. I was like...
She was like, so it doesn't take place on a beach?
She was like, no, and it's not a foreign film. There's nothing foreign about it. And so I didn't end up doing Playa Haters.
Playa Haters. Playa Haters.
It's a foreign film. She was so excited too. Jamie, no.
Do you feel like you were getting, after Scary Movie, were you getting a lot of the same stuff offered to you?
Probably like more broad.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, definitely.
I was laughing because I was like, I bet Regina and I would be in a movie where we'd be playing like stereotypical versions of, because I still, to this day, someone's like, we thought of you. We think it's great. And I'm like, okay. And I read the part and I'm like, oh, it's just,
I know.
one of those characters that is just like, usually very like, let me speak to the manager, very nuts, and very like, get her out of here.
I know. Yeah.
And I feel like we would probably be cast in a movie where we would be.
I'd be the one that you wanted to speak to the manager over. I'd be like, they'd always have it. Like, there's some hood chick, and she's always like, and I'd be like,
and I would be like, totally.
Because you just can't do that all the time. You're like, what else?
So
right?
okay,
And
well,
versions of that.
well, leads me to my question. So we do this thing on the show where we talk behind someone's back. We kind of try to find out more about them
Yeah.
through people that know them, and so we talked to Andrew Rannells today.
Hi, baby daddy.
I heard you have twins together.
Dawn and Dawn. We have children. We don't know where are our kids. Dawn and Dawn. I love Andrew. I love Andrew.
I know he's so. What do you love about him?
Oh, he makes me smile. He makes me laugh. He's funny, so talented.
Yeah.
But he's just such a nice human being. Like, I love Andrew. Like, I knew he was my baby daddy from the first moment I saw him.